So what is the basic theory needed? First thing is, whenever I have to think about line codes to identify or derive their power spectral densities, I'll have to consider the line codes as a train of rectangular pulses. Please remember a line code, for example, in this format I showed you, can be, so if I have a single rectangular pulse and I shift that every rectangular pulse exists for a bit duration TB. The bit duration TB is the duration of the single pulse. So if the pulse is 1, I represent it with a say positive voltage plus A. If it is 0, negative voltage or 0 voltage. Either I can represent it with negative voltage minus A if it is a polar format, or I can represent it with 0 voltage if it is unipolar format. So our line codes fall under one of these categories. I'll have either a positive voltage or 0 voltage or negative voltage as the amplitude of the rectangular pulses. Okay. And how will I get a particular line code? By shifting these rectangular pulses to different durations of time and adding everything. I showed you that here. See, if this is V of t, this is after 1 or 2 periods, say V of t minus 2t, this one, and this is V of t minus 5t or something like that. So wherever I have ones, I have shifted. This is 5t, this is 2t, this is just at 0. So this represents V of t, this represents V of t minus 2t, this represents V of t minus 5t, something like that. I have just shifted the rectangular pulses to the right. Now I have a binary sequence given something like this. Say 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, something like that is the binary sequence. This is in the interval what? 0 to t. This is in the interval t to 2t. This will be in the, usually we'll write TB here, bit duration. This will be between 2 TB to 3 TB, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So this will be 5 TB, something like that. So if I have to get this kind of binary representation, I just have to add these shifted rectangular pulses. I hope you are able to follow. If V of t is a simple rectangular pulse at 0, every time I shift it to different time values, I'll be getting pulses like this, and adding up all of those will result in any one particular binary data in the line code. Say the binary data was something like this. I'll have the pulses shifted like this, and I have added all those pulses. This will result in the given final binary data representation. So that is one basic thing. You should consider this as a discrete amplitude modulated pulse train. And that's why we will represent a line code like this. Please remember this equation, which is the standard representation of a line code. Summation k ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity V of t minus kt, where k can be an integer in the range minus infinity to plus infinity. So it will just give us time shifted rectangular pulses added together to generate one particular line code. And if I want the amplitude also to be scaled, so I just don't want the amplitude to be 1 always. I want the amplitudes to be plus a, 0 or minus a. I'll include an amplitude scaling factor in that equation ak. So the amplitude scaling factor in the rectangular pulse train, if it is included, I can either generate a unipolar line code, I can generate a polar line code or bipolar just by multiplying the rectangular pulse, the time scaled rectangular pulse or the time shifted rectangular pulse, I'll call it. multiplying the time shifted rectangular pulse with a particular amplitude. Is that clear? So this is the standard representation of a line code. Remember this first, very important. A standard representation of any line code is a random process x of t, which is defined as the summation k ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity, ak, which represents its amplitude, into the time shifted rectangular train of pulses v of t minus kt. So, and one more thing you remember, the second thing, this is the first important thing which you should remember. The second important thing is, if the given rectangular pulse v of t is defined as 1 into rect t by t, it's a rectangular pulse, then in frequency domain, what would its value be? In frequency domain, v of f would be represented as T sync F tau. It would be a sync waveform. Okay. If a given signal is a rectangular waveform in the time domain, so in the time domain, it is a rectangular waveform of width T and amplitude 1. In the frequency domain, it would be a sync pulse as shown, and this would be the representation of the pulse. So this is the second important thing which you should remember. And the third important thing which you should remember is that the autocorrelation function and the power spectral density functions are Fourier transform pairs. In the last class, I have explained in detail what is ACR, what is PSD, and these are things which you have studied before also. So please remember, we will be finding the autocorrelation function of the line code first, and then we will convert it into its power spectral density by finding the Fourier transform of the autocorrelation function. ACR function is defined in the time domain and the power spectral density is defined in the frequency domain. So if I have to find the frequency domain expression of ACR, I should use Fourier transform. That is what we have represented here. The equations for the conversions between ACR and PSD functions. And with that, we started off with what should be the starting. These are just the starting procedures which are common to finding the power spectral density of all the line codes. So whenever I consider a line code, if I have to analyze it, we will model the mechanism which is needed to generate the binary sequence. We are calling the binary sequence as AK, represented in terms of its amplitudes. Okay. The coefficients ones and zeros which are generated is considered as a discrete stationary random source. This also I explained to you. What is the meaning of discrete? What is stationary? Each one I have explained. And this source is characterized having ensemble averaged autocorrelation function. Again, these are just terms. If you know the meanings, it is well and good. Just so that you shouldn't feel that they are just bare terms, I have explained in detail the meaning of each of these. Ensemble average versus time average, I had explained. So ensemble average is something which is taken over a set of readings, a set of waveforms. This is ensemble average. Time average is the time averaged over just one waveform. Whereas if I take hundreds and thousands of measurements and take the average at one point of time, it is ensemble average. So the autocorrelation function for a line code will be defined as the expected value of AK into AK minus N. AK represents the amplitude for the bit K and AK minus N represents the amplitude for the bit K minus N. And how do I find the expected value? We know expected value means it is nothing but the mean. How do I find the mean? It is the summation taken. Remember, whenever we have discrete values, we use summation. Whenever I have continuous values, I'm going to use integral. Okay. So since this is a expectation or mean function of discrete values, you should use summation I is equal to 1 to n ak into ak minus n into probability pi. Okay. So what is the here pi represents the probability of occurrence of the ith symbol. We'll find out that. And after knowing the autocorrelation function, how do I find its Fourier transform or power spectral density? You'll find the power spectral density of the ACR function by taking its Fourier transform. So the Fourier transform of Ra of n will be summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity Ra of n into e to the power of minus j2 pi nft. And remember, these AK values represent just the amplitudes of which signal? We have the rectangular pulse, time shifted pulses attached to this AK. So when I consider that they are attached to the rectangular pulses V of t, I will also have to consider the Fourier transform of V of t, which will be V of f into V of f. So V of f for this also V of f. Okay. Both when multiplied, I have V of f whole square in amplitude. And since I need the average or mean value, I'll have to divide it with 1 by t, the time period. So again, please remember, this is the fourth important equation which you have to remember, and the fifth. So if you remember these basic 5 relations or equations, it is very easy for us to find the power spectral density of any given line code sequence. So please understand the basics. First is, how do you define a line code using a time domain equation as a random process x of t? Next is, how what is v of t? It's a rectangular pulse, so v of f will be a sync pulse. Third is ACR and PSD are Fourier transform pairs. And fourth is how to find the ACR function for the given line code. And fifth is how to find the power spectral density for the given line code. Please remember, all these are standard expressions which we are going to use throughout. Is that clear? So what are the steps which we use to find power spectral density of line codes? First is define the equation of the line code, as I told you. Then you find the values of the amplitudes AK and also the probability of occurrence Pi. Next, you find the autocorrelation function Ra of n. And third, you find the power spectral density Sx of f. So these are the steps, and we'll follow these steps when we start off with the first type of line code, that is polar NRZ. So as we had already defined polar NRZ, polar means amplitude will be plus A for logical 1 and amplitude will be minus A for logical 0. Okay. So x of t, which is the time domain definition of the random process. Remember, this is your time domain equation for the given polar NRZ signal. It could be represented as plus A in the interval 0 to TB whenever it is a logic 1, minus A in the same interval whenever it is a logic 0. Remember, 1 bit duration is always TB. Okay. So what happens to the amplitude of this signal? I told you in the first step, we should define the line code equation. We should define the amplitudes AK and the probabilities. So how do I define the amplitude of this signal? AK will have the value plus A for logic 1 in this interval, minus A for logic 0 in the same interval. Okay. So it's the same equation which I have just rewritten, showing only the amplitudes, which is almost same as this. Next is to find the autocorrelation function. I have to check out for n is equal to 0 and n not equal to 0, two conditions. Before that, let's find the, let's assume all symbols are going to occur with equal probability. Remember, there are only two symbols, 0 and 1. And if both are equiprobable, means it is probability of 1, which is probability of 0, which is half. Okay. So the probability of occurrence here, in this case, Pi is half. Now we moved on to find the auto. All this we did in the last class. That's why it's there. We moved on to find the ACR function Ra of n. So I told you to remember the definition for this Ra of n. It is defined as summation ak into ak minus n, the whole thing into probability Pi, and defined in the interval I is equal to 1 to n. Here n value is 2. So I'll have it in, I can have only two values here. 1, 2, 2, 0 and 1 are the two existing symbols. So first in this, let us substitute this n as 0. Okay. So if this n is 0, the value of ACR becomes Ra of 0. And Ra of 0 is found as, remember how did we find Ra? It is the mean or expected value of ak into ak minus n. Here it is k minus 0, so it will be ak into ak, or it gives us the expected value of ak square. And how do I find the expected value? It is this equation, summation ak square into Pi. So if I have to find the mean, it's always a summation in the range 1 to 2, ak square Pi. Remember, if the binary integer or the binary symbol is a 1, then the amplitude of ak, what would it be? Plus a. For binary representation of 1, logic 1, the amplitude ak will take the value plus a. That's why I am considering symbol 1, plus a would be the amplitude. So plus a into plus a, I'll get plus a square. And the probability we already determined, the probability of occurrence that the symbol will be 1 is half. Next, the second symbol can be symbol 0. Okay. So the second symbol can be 0, which means I have to consider what is the amplitude with which 0 is represented. Logic 0 is represented with the amplitude minus a. So when logic 0 is represented with the amplitude minus a, then the value of this ak square becomes minus a square. Okay, in this equation, ak square becomes minus a square, and Pi is the probability of occurrence of a 0. It is half. So I'll get a square by 2, and minus a the whole square is again plus a square by 2, or in effect this Ra of n for n is equal to 0 will be a square. Okay. So the first thing, putting n as 0 we got. In the second instance, we'll consider n is not equal to 0. So what happens when n is not equal to 0? Then the product ak into ak minus 1 will have how many possible values? See, when this n can be anything else. Remember, I have a waveform like this. Please understand, I have a rectangular waveform, something like this. And if I consider k as, let's say, ak as k as 1, and if I consider n as 3, what happens here? Ak into ak minus n will become a1 into, or instead of 1, let me take a k as 10. It will be easier because I'm writing only positive side here. rather than writing the negative. I can continue this on the negative side also. Anyway, here we'll say k is 10 and n is 3. So I have to consider a10 into a10 minus 3, which is a7. So I have to take, say, the waveform at the 10th position. So whatever is the value of the amplitude at the 10th bit, and whatever is the value of the amplitude at the third bit position, those two amplitudes I am multiplying. So this, what I'm trying to show you is k and n can be arbitrary. They can be any values. Okay. So n and k can take any values here between minus infinity to plus infinity. So 8, a10, a7 I had. If I had n as 5, I will have a10 into a5. If I have n as 2, I'll have a10 into a8, anything. So we can consider the group of any two arbitrary bits. They need not be next to each other. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'll consider this second case as n not being 0. N can be anything, okay, other than 0. When n was 0, we took the condition, first condition. When n is not equal to 0 and k is changing, I'll have, since I have two binary values, I have the values 0 and 1. How many possible combinations with two different values? How many combinations can I have with two different binary values? You will have 2 to the power of 2 or 4 combinations when you have just two binary values for symbols. Remember, we are representing binary data. The symbols can either be 0 or 1. Whenever you have just two binary values as symbols, I'll have 4 different combinations possible, and I'm listing the 4 possibilities. So if the 4 possibilities is, the first can be a 0 and the next can also be a 0. First one 0, the next one 1. First one 1, the next one 0, and both 1 1. Accordingly, what will happen to their amplitudes? If both are zeros, remember, zeros are represented with minus a. I'll write both with minus a. And what will happen to the product ak into ak minus n? It will become plus a square. If 0 and 1, it will be represented with minus a and plus a. Product becomes minus a square. 1 0 plus a minus a. Product is minus a square. And both are 1. Both will be represented with positive amplitude plus a plus a. So the product ak into ak minus 1 becomes plus a square. So I'll have 4 distinct combinations with 2 binary bits. And coming to the probabilities, just like before, we are going to assume all these 4 possibilities are equiprobable. They can occur with equal probability. Few things we have to assume here. If they usually don't mention, let's assume the possibility that ak is 0 and ak minus n is 0 will be 1 by 4th. Ak is 0, ak minus n is 1 will be 1 by 4th. So all the 4 cases which is possible will occur with equal probabilities. That means the probability of every individual case is 1 by 4. Okay. Now, finally, I can find the mean value or the autocorrelation function. Therefore, the mean value Ra of n for n not equal to 0 here can be defined as the expected value of ak into ak minus 1, which is defined as summation I is equal to, since I have 4 possibilities in this case. There we had only 2 symbols, 2 possibilities in the first case. Okay. So I have to take I is equal to 1 to 2. Here there are 4 possibilities. I is equal to 1 to 4, ak minus 1 into pi. Substitute the values. We have found all the values. So when both are 0, 0, ak into ak minus 1 was plus a square. Its probability is 1 by 4th. Second case, the product is minus a square, probability is 1 by 4. Third case, minus a square. Fourth case. Looking at these values only, you can justify what will happen to this. You see, everything cancels out and you'll get Ra of n as what? You'll get Ra of n as 0. Hence, what can I summarize? Therefore, summarizing, I can say Ra of n will be a square for which condition? For n equal to 0. We showed here, right? It is a square. When n was 0, the autocorrelation function would become a square. And when n is not equal to 0, when n is not equal to 0, its value would be 0. Okay. So I don't know whether we have given equation numbers. If not, I'll start from here. Let me take 1. Okay, we haven't given numbers here. So this is we are done with the first step in the process. Define the line code, find the AK values and PI. We did first. The second step is finding the autocorrelation function for the given polar NRZ line code we have found. And now we'll move on to the last step, that is to find the power spectral density of this line code. So how do I find so step 3, to find PSD. What is the relationship between the autocorrelation and PSD? We already have that defined equation. I told you to remember this equation to find the PSD knowing the autocorrelation function for the given rectangular pulses which are shifted in time in a line code. So 1 by T V of f, you have to remember this equation, 1 by T V of f a whole square magnitude. And then I have next is finding the Fourier transform of the autocorrelation function. So which will be summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity Ra of n, the autocorrelation function, into e to the power of minus j2 pi nft df. Anyway, I need not write df here because this is just a summation and not integral, right? If it was not discrete or binary, if it was continuous, then you should change the summation to integration and you should include df. Anyway, this is our expression to find the power spectral density. Okay. Now let us consider when the time period is equal to what? TB we have already written. Instead of 1 by T, we have already written TB. So what will we write? At T is equal to TB, we get, here you make it 1 by T then. Sx of f will be 1 by TB. Here this T gets changed to TB, V of f whole square. And what will this whole thing be? I can write this as, I have only two values here, Ra of 0 plus Ra of n when n is not equal to 0. Only two conditions I have in this whole thing. Yes or no? So we have to find this value in the summation. What would be that? Substitute the values. This would become a square Okay. And how much would this be? If this is a square, this would be 0. We have already shown this. It is 0 there. So what will happen to this? Remember, this e power j 2 pi nftb would already be taken care of when we write this Fourier transform for v of t. So what I can do in the next step, I can just say we know that for v of t is equal to rect t by t, v of f will be given as tb sinc, what did we have? Sinc ft, right? So ftb, sinc ftb. And remember, I haven't considered any amplitude other than 1. You know, if this is a rectangular function, its Fourier transform is a sinc function. So even here I can remove this e. E is taken care of. I'll just consider therefore Sx of f, the PSD, should be given as 1 by Tb into what is this V of f? Tb sinc ftb the whole square into a square. So from the autocorrelation functions, I have just the value a square. So you just have to consider Sx of f as this 1 by Tb into V of f whole square into a square. I hope you understood why we left off this e power, because it has already been taken care of. We are considering the Fourier transform directly. Okay. It in this case, what happens? Array of 0 only exists. So this becomes here e to the power of, if you want to write, you can write e to the power of 0. When n is equal to, it is e to the power of j 2 pi nft, right? So it will be e to the power of 0, and this is what? Okay, I think I'll write it separately here and show. It will be easier. Let me keep this minus j 2 pi nft. Instead of skipping steps, this would be easier. This into e to the power of 0 plus 0 into e to the power of minus j 2 pi nft. Okay. I hope now there won't be any confusion. So what happens here? What remains is a square into 1 plus 0. That's why what remains in the expression for Sx of f is 1 by Tb, and we know what is V of f. Given V of t is a rectangular function, V of f will be Tb sinc ftb. I should square it and multiply with the term within brackets, which will result in just a square. I hope this is clear now. Now you just have to simplify this further. So just substitute. What would you get? 1 by Tb into this Tb square sinc square ftb into a square. I can cancel 1 Tb here. So what do I have left? I'll take this a square in the front. It's an amplitude. A square into a single Tb. Sorry, this should be sinc square ftb is your power spectral density function. Okay. So the power spectral density function for polar NRZ. We have considered polar NRZ waveform or polar NRZ line code is given as a square TB sinc square FTB. So if you want, you write some equation numbers. Next is, let's see how to represent this in the form of a graph. So graphically, how do I represent this power spectral density? Do you remember how a sinc function is represented? How do you represent a sinc function? Anybody? How is a sinc waveform represented? I'll take FTB as the axis. A sinc T has the value 1 at 0 and it will go on decreasing in amplitude till it reaches, say, till infinity, minus infinity to plus infinity. Sinc means, please remember, it is sine pi x by pi x. This is what we call as sinc x. I hope all of you remember this sinc function. And this is how it is represented graphically, right? Now, if this is sinc, how will I represent sinc square and its magnitude? I am interested in representing the magnitude of this function, sinc square. What would happen to the square value? What is the square of 1? And these values are 1 by TB, 2 by TB, 3 by TB, so on. Again, if we represent, if I'm squaring this, I'll get the same thing. I'm writing only the positive side. I'll neglect the negative. 1 square is 1 and this will be the value at 1 by TB. It will be at least rounded off. And what will happen to square of this? If this, whatever is this value, if I square it, it becomes positive. Yes or no? Similarly, this is already positive. If I square it, therefore, I can represent Sx of f. Before writing Sx, if you want, I'll call this as, what is this value? This value is sinc square FTB. Whatever I have written here is sinc square FTB, where I'm going to get positive values only. Next, let me write Sx of f. Can you write Sx of f? What is Sx of f? Sinc square FTB scaled by the value a square into TB. That's all. So this representation, what I have in the second, if I multiply it with a square into TB, whatever I'm going to get, that is your power spectral density Sx of f. So the amplitude here, sorry, this didn't come out so neatly. Amplitude at this point will be a square into TB. And all these points will be 1 by TB, 2 by TB. These are the values when the power spectral density becomes 0. So the power spectral density has become 0 at 1 by 2b, 2 by TB, 3 by TB, so on. Okay. So this is the graphical representation of this equation. which represents the power spectral density of a what? Polar NRZ signal. Is this clear? If you have any doubts in finding the power spectral density of polar NRZ, please ask. This is one of the simplest. Polar NRZ is one of the simplest representation. And the reason for that is this autocorrelation function becomes 0 when n is not equal to 0. Whereas if I consider unipolar functions, this won't become 0, as we will see next. Any doubts here? Please speak up. Or at least message, no, if you can't speak. Do you have doubts or not?
No, ma'am.
No doubts. So then we'll proceed with the next one then.
No, ma'am. No doubts.
Okay, then I'll proceed with the second type of line code, that is unipolar NRZ. So we'll proceed to find the power spectral density of unipolar NRZ. So how do we start with this? First, draw the waveform and write the equation. What is unipolar NRZ? Somebody should tell me fast. How do I represent the given? Say x of t. Unipolar means it has only one polarity. It will be represented by plus a for logic 1 or binary 1 in the interval 0 to TB, right? Sorry. T lying in between 0 to TB, and logic 0 will be represented as a what? 0 volts. Logic 0 will be represented as 0 volts. This is for logic 1 or binary 1. This is for logic 0. So please understand, unipolar means it has one polarity. Whenever I have a 1, I'll represent it with positive voltage plus A. Whenever I have a 0, I'll represent it as 0 volts. So every time you have a 1, you should represent it with plus A volts. This is the representation and the equation. Here also, since we have only two binary symbols, since we have only two binary symbols, 0 and 1, consider what? The probabilities. Once I define the value of the symbol, I should define its probability. Consider the probability that what? The symbol is a 1 is equal to the probability that the symbol is a 0, which is half. So if both are equiprobable, it is half. So I have to define the amplitudes AK. How do I define the amplitudes? Amplitudes are nothing but the definition what we have here. AK takes the value plus A in the interval. It's same. Instead of writing x of t, I could have written AK itself here, or AK. Both are represented using the same equations. Yes or no? Because we are writing only the amplitudes here. AK takes the value plus A in this interval 0 to TB, and it will take the value 0 in for logic 0. So I can write AK or x of t there directly. The probabilities of occurrence of both the symbols we have considered. So next, let's try to move on. So this is step 1. So please remember, this is the first step. What is the second step? What is the step 2? Once you have defined the AK values and their probabilities, you have to find the autocorrelation function. So when we find the autocorrelation function, remember the standard equation, we know that Ra of n is summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak into ak minus n into the probability of occurrence of the ith symbol, right? This is I. And first let me consider for n is equal to 0. It's almost like mathematics. The same steps are repeated. For n is equal to 0, we'll find Ra of 0. Okay. And what are the possibilities now? What are the possibilities here? There are how many values of binary symbols possible? Only 2. So I should range from 1 to 2. And the first symbol doesn't have an n, so I can't put n as 0. The second symbol, if I put n as 0, I'll have ak into pi. And I can take on only 2 values, you say, because the 2 binary symbols possible are 1 and 0. So only 2 possibilities. Now let me consider if it is 1, what happens? What will be the amplitude for 1? I have already written. For logic 1, the amplitude is plus a. For logic 0, the amplitude ak value. What does this ak take? For logic 1, it takes the value plus a. For 0, it takes the value 0. So substitute. When I consider, if you want, you write it as 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, 2 values, let it be. Plus a into plus a into what is the probability of occurrence of symbol 1? Probability of occurrence of 1 is half. Multiply. I'm just expanding this summation. That's all. I'm not doing anything else. Plus the second case is what are the amplitudes when the symbol is 0? What is the value of ak when the symbol is 0? Whenever the symbol is 0, ak takes the value 0. So ak takes the value 0. Both are ak, and the probability of occurrence of symbol 0 is half. So what will this Ra of 0 reduce to? It will be plus a into plus a square by 2 plus 0. The second term will be 0. Is that clear? So let me call this as equation 1, this as equation 2, this is 3. What's the next one I should do? For n not equal to 0. When n is not equal to 0 and I have only 2 discrete symbols which are transmitted. So when n is not equal to 0 and only 2 discrete symbols are transmitted. Symbols 0 and 1 are present. How many combinations I'll have? We have 2 square or 4 possible combinations. Just like before, 4 possible combinations. Let us list all those 4 possible combinations. 0, 0. These are the binary symbols. Like before, let's list. Then AK, AK minus N. I told you AK and AK minus N need not be next to each other. They can be anywhere in the at any position in the line code. Okay, so I'm telling that they need not be adjacent. Sorry, they need not be next to each other. If this is AK, even this can be AK minus N, even somewhere here at this part, this can be AK minus N, anything. Okay, they need not be adjacent. Please remember, need not be adjacent. So for the given binary representation 0 and 0, AK value, remember the amplitude, sorry, what is the amplitude to represent 0? 0 is represented, the amplitude binary 0 is represented as 0. You have to remember this definition. AK is 0 for logic 0 and plus A for logic 1. So when both are 0, this product AK into AK minus N will become 0. The probability we will write later. 0, 1, this amplitude will be 0, this amplitude will be plus A, but again the product is 0. 1, 0, this will be plus A, 1 is represented with plus A, 0 is represented with 0, product is still 0. When both are 1, when both symbols last possibility, then ones are represented with amplitudes plus A. So the product will become what? Plus A square. AK I need not write. A square. Okay, A plus A into plus A square. And usually what we do, we'll consider all four combinations occur with equal probability. Occur with equal probability. So what should I consider the probability of each case? 1 by 4. So you consider the probability of occurrence of each case as 1 by 4. Now we can find what is the value of the autocorrelation function here. What would be the value? As we know, autocorrelation function, how many possible combinations here? 4 possible combinations. So I varies from 1 to 4. Please understand. The summation means it's always the mean of all the possible combinations. Here there are 4 possible combinations. Previously there were only 2 possible combinations. So what should I do? Summation for I ranging from 1 to 4, AK minus N into probability Pi. Go on substituting for each combination. The first combination is 0. The product is 0, and even if I multiply with 1 by 4, it will be 0. The second combination, again the product AK into AK minus 1, 0 into 1 by 4. Third combination is also 0 into 1 by 4. Last combination is A square into 1 by 4. So what do I get? I'll get the ACR value as A square by 4. So in summary, what do we write? The autocorrelation function Ra of n, how much was it when n was 0? Ra of 0, it was A square by 2, right? So for n is equal to 0, its value is A square by 2. And for n not equal to 0, its value is A square by 4. Let me call this equation 4. Okay. So now I am done with step 2, that is defining the autocorrelation function. Step 2 was to define ACR function. We are done with that. Now after this we should move on to step 3. So what is step 3? Step 3 is to find power spectral density. And do you remember the equation? We know power spectral density Sx of f is 1 by T V of f the whole square summation n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity the autocorrelation function into e to the power of minus j2 pi fn t. This is the expression, standard expression for the power spectral density function. I think it's time you can answer your attendance. We'll continue. This power spectral density will take some time. So I'll continue in the next class. Yeah. Sandeep Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Saptami. Answer quickly, fast. I think it would be better if all of you just I'll stop sharing. I can check here. Unmute yourself very fast when your turn comes. Saptami is there. Sardesh Pandey Saurabh.
Present, ma'am. Present.
Yeah, Sharash Chandra.
Present, ma'am.
Oh, I think it's time. What class do you have now at 12:15?
Java.
Okay, you do one thing. I'll take a picture and after that you can just leave. And if you have time, you enter your USNs in the chat box. Those who finished entering can leave.